All right, check, check. All right. Are you echoing? You hear anything?
Nope, good to go.
Sounds bad.
It's because of that microphone. It's because of this microphone. It's picking up the computer's microphone.
You talking about Instagram?
Now this. I don't know if that's Instagram. Ready to go? All right. Tease. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
One.
Injection, fellas.
All right, let's go ahead and do this damn thing. Get this shit over with. All right, welcome to Uncle Legend's Corner. I'll be your host, Uncle Legend, and with me always is my beautiful co-host, Call Girl 6, better known as Fox.
Hey, y'all. What's up?
What's happening?
So, we got a late podcast going on today, but
Oof.
we said we was going to do it on Wednesday. So, here you go.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's real. So, all right, let's just go ahead and get into it, Fox. I mean, I don't even remember what I was fussing about. I'm like all out of sorts now. So,
You always fussing. That's why.
and you left this wild rabbit dog at my feet right here.
Mm-hmm.
My guy's trying to eat my toes off right now.
So, anyway, I had therapy time today. And I think that we were discussing boundaries and what those are. Last time we was talking about boundaries, I was like, what the hell? What's a boundary? Because obviously I cross boundaries. So, and I don't know the difference. I didn't know the difference between a boundary and a rule because to me, all of it's rules. To me, it is. All of them are rules. But So do you think that personal boundaries, you think having those are important and keeping a relationship vibrant?
Um, I think vibrant. I'm not really sure that's a weird
Right.
word,
I didn't think so
but I
either.
think it's more
Hey,
of a
what's up?
what's going on. I think it's more of a how should you say this? It's more of a healthy thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you sit here and look at boundaries and you look at it from a negative connotation or whatever, then yeah, but boundaries are for you, right? Rules are for everybody else. So like you can have boundaries. You can have boundaries and your boundaries ain't for your boundaries are to protect you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I don't want this shit around me. I don't want that around me. You can do whatever you want.
Mhm.
We just ain't doing it here. Like if I'm gonna leave. Like so a boundary would be like, I don't want to be around nobody doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's not telling you you can't do drugs. It's like don't do it around me. And if people start doing drugs, I'm gonna leave. That's a boundary. A rule would be more like y'all can't smoke that shit around me.
My stuff is like, well, the way my mind was set up, okay, it was okay. Well, I don't want you doing drugs or whatever. So you do drugs. We got a problem now, okay?
That,
We about to take it all the way there because I
but
don't
that's the
told your
difference.
ass
That's the
that
difference
we
with
not
rules
doing
and
this.
boundaries. Boundaries are for you, and like really, like just looking at this definition, right? When it comes down to it, a rule is something you enforce on someone else, or someone enforces on you,
Mhm.
while a boundary is something you put around yourself,
Mhm.
or someone else puts around them. So this is just my barrier. Like, yo, you do what you want, but to deal with me, you can't do this. So it's not like I'm telling you what you have to do. I'm telling you what I'm not going to tolerate around me.
But then what about some people feeling as though that would be an ultimatum?
I mean, yeah, people feel like a boundary is an ultimatum, but that's just one of them things where it's just like I think the difference between a boundary and an ultimatum is how it's really like an ultimatum is just kind of some shit like an ultimatum just becomes like it's like you got to make a choice in a different way. Like an ultimatum would be like, yo, it's either me or the kids. Like that's an ultimatum. A boundary is like you can't smoke that shit around me. Like
I don't know. I kind of think about the ultimatums kind of being the same because
I
if
mean,
I'm
possibly.
saying,
I guess ultimatum probably just got more of a negative connotation. Like
you don't like
I
the way it sounds, don't feel good.
yeah, and maybe
But
that's
it's what it
it is.
is. You know, do
I mean,
this
I don't know.
or this will happen. Or if you don't do this, then this will happen. Kind of that.
But I think when you get into the punishment,
Mm-hmm.
when you get to the punishment, it's different. So here we go. Generally speaking, ultimatums are about force, using or involving a threat. You know what I mean? So involving a threat or demand that attempts to control another person.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries, however, are about personal power, a limit that you set for yourself around you that does not come from a place of anger, judgment, or blame. So I think the intention is like the difference between boundaries and ultimatums, and also the conditions, right? Like if you saying like you get like the difference with that is like, yo, like if I just say I don't deal with women with kids,
Mm-hmm.
that don't mean you can't go have kids.
Mm-hmm.
That just mean I'm not gonna deal with you. That's not like an ultimatum. An ultimatum would be like when the dude be like, yo, if you want to be with me, then you gotta get rid of the kids. Like that's an ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I would think that feel different, and it's like more what the word? It's more like negative in nature. You know what I'm saying about what you're trying to say.
Boundaries too can be that way. So if you're telling somebody, well, I don't want to deal with you because you have kids.
No, but that's not a boundary. I don't want to deal with you because you have kids. The boundary is I don't deal with people who have kids. The boundary is set. It's like like once you start trying to make boundaries for old stuff, like that's like me saying like a boundary. Like I'm not dealing with black women with dreads because they be oiling up my pillowcases. I can't say that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Peppermint oil.
you know what I'm saying? Like I can't be up to my silk sheets is ruined. Like, you know what I mean? Like that'd be wild, like after the fact. But if I said that from the get go, it just is what it is. Like if you pop the wig off and then you I don't do that.
So in a way, boundary is like a preference too, though. You can.
I mean,
say
everything
it
is
would be
everything is a preference.
So
I
how
think
it says, well,
preference
you
is
can't use it. It's not angry. Yes, it is. Somebody cross your boundaries, then you're gonna be angry.
But that's something different about somebody crossing your boundaries. You can get angry or something like that, but it's not angry in nature. Like when you make an ultimatum, it's usually angry in nature. I think is what they're getting at, right? Like generally speaking, it's coming out of a place of anger, judgment, or blame, where it's like I'm judging you. This has to happen. Blah 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 blah. Boundary just saying like I'm not mad. Like you just like you. I'm like you just not gonna take me goddamn, you're just not gonna take me fucking every Jane, Mary, and Karen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not gonna like, you're not gonna take that. So that's like a boundary. It's not like you gotta leave the bitches alone or I'm leaving. Like, that's an ultimatum. But the boundary is just like, I'm not dealing with this. So when you leave, it's not like I'm angry. It's like, I have my boundaries. You knocking my fence down. I'm out. Like, and you got to do this stuff to make. And really, what the only reason that boundaries, like all of those ultimatums and rules, come with like, here's what's going to happen to you. A boundary is just kind of like, oh, you're bringing something and trying to break down my boundary. So I'm gonna just move the fuck away from you. Like, I can't be around you. Like, if I don't want to be around dogs, and I'm like, I can't be around dogs. Well, I'm not gonna go to the pound. That, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go hang out at the pound. I'm not gonna go work for PETA or something like that.
But if you're saying that, then okay, I can still say, well, I don't want to deal with people who do X, Y, and Z, or I'm leaving. So it's still not a leaving behind that.
No, because the thing is, this is like, boundaries are already set up. Like, people think about it like a fence. If you build the fence while people in the fence already in the area that's fenced in, then you're kicking them out. If I build a boundary and then you try to cross my boundary, that's different. You get what I'm saying? So think of a boundary like literally like a physical boundary. If I build a wall and you're on the inside of the wall, I can't tell you like, hey, so you can't get in the club with them shoes.
I can then take away trust. I can then take away me in the manner in which I deal with a person for crossing my boundaries.
Yeah, like if you come and knock down my wall, like if my wall is like, I don't take abuse, and you come sock me in my shit, then yeah, I can get the fuck up out of there. Like,
it can be as small or as big as you want it to be, though.
Yeah, your boundary can be as small as you want. My boundary could be, I ain't trying to deal with no wild ass lashes or some shit like that. Like, I can have any reason or any boundary that I want. But it's like, it's all about my boundaries. And I think boundaries are healthy because it's like, human nature is selfish. So human nature is we'll take. And a lot of times we're not going to be like, oh, well, what about the other person? Sometimes we just don't do that a lot. Like, we're not as thoughtful people as we want. So if you don't have boundaries set up where it's like, I'm not doing all that. Like a boundary for me is like, I'm not going to lend anybody money that I can't afford to lose. That's a boundary. So when you sit here like, man, you got like, you sit there and you see my ATM receipt and that thing say 7,000. You're like, man, I'm just trying to get 100. This 7,000 already counted for. So that ain't a you thing. This is my boundary. If you got an issue with my boundary, then get the fuck on. Like, the wall, I don't got to tear my wall down for you. I built this wall to protect me from things that I don't want to deal with, whether it be mosquitoes, alligators, bears, whatever. So if you bring a bear, no, you can't bring your bear here. That's why I built this damn wall. Like, well, this bear don't bite. No. Like, so that shit don't fly.
I don't know about keeping the relationship vibrant, though.
I think it's healthy about having boundaries.
Yeah, so maybe this the refreshing factor of, okay, I'm at my peace now. You're not crossing those boundaries, and now I can deal with you in a manner in which we both are pleased with one another.
Yeah, because I think like once you got the boundary set, you're overall going to be more happy about, because it's just kind of like when we talked about a relationship, and I said like the 3 things you should know before you go in a relationship is the shit the over my dead body stuff, I'm not budging. You know what I'm saying? The things that you're willing to compromise on and the things you don't care about. So it's like, some things you'll be like, babe, I want to do this and that, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't care. That means I genuinely don't care. And then it's like, I don't like that. Like, the responses you get from me is usually, I don't care, or sure. Like, and if I, like, and this is just saying if it's not something I want to do, it's just you like, hey, I want to do A. And I'm like, I don't care, or we could do that, or sure. That's in my, I don't care, I'm not about to fight about it area. Then you got my, I don't know, I'm weary about it, like, but I'm willing to negotiate area where it's like, I don't know about all of that, but we could start with this, and then, you know what I mean, so forth and so on, and I got that area. And then it's like all right, well, somebody got to die tonight because we ain't leaving each other.
Yeah.
Because that's more of like a rule. Like, if you leave me, well, it's been a nice life for you.
That's a rule.
That's a rule. You can kind of think of that like that's the one boundary that is on the inside and outside. Like, you just stuck in that ring.
Hey, y'all just joined in the chat. What's up?
You can do
hey,
that.
Jeff.
Jeff, what's happening, brother? We got started nice and late for you on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you could be.
We got time for it.
We got time for it. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to with boundaries. And I think people now what I think people are getting too crazy about is like, one, there's always exceptions to rules, right? Like there's not too many absolute things and everything. So there's always exceptions to rules. But the other thing that people get caught up in is that people always want to like they want to gatekeep everything. So they want to gatekeep everything. So it's like, well, we do this and this is it's supposed to be like this and this is supposed to be like that and blah 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 blah. And it's like, shut up. You're miserable. You know what I mean? It's like, so people always have all these reasons. Oh, that was a dog tail. But people always have all these reasons why they want to overcomplicate things. And it's just like anything else in life. Like when people make things overcomplicated, it's really because like either A, you ain't got shit else better to do, or you want to like justify your existence. It's like tax attorneys. Those motherfuckers don't deserve to live.
Don't be doing that because somebody's mother is a tax attorney who got to do what she got to do.
Well, pray more. Pray more. Mary Jean, go sell Avon like the rest of them old ass ladies and get your shit together. Ain't doing it.
All right. So with that, do you think that having too many relationships under your belt, just so many damn relationships you've been in, do you think it affects your dating skills?
100%. I think that having a bunch of relationships makes you a better dater and makes you shittier on relationships.
Yeah, so it's just because it's like temporary things.
Because
I get that. Mm-hmm.
A dude said something on I don't know what it was I was watching, and I think I showed it to you. Where he said something to the effect of, "Dating is practicing the art of divorce." You know what I mean? So it's like you're dating, and it's kind of like, oh, I want to date you. Oh, you're pretty. Oh, you're dope. Oh, you're this and that. Oh, you're vegan. I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, your fucking middle toe's longer than your big toe. I'm out.
One reason.
Yeah, you always get to find a reason. They like, as soon as you see a red flag, get out of here. And it's like, man, let me tell you something. Is it a deep red flag? Like, I be looking at red flags like, how red is it?
Like crimson blood.
Is it crimson? Is it swoop red? Like, if it's swoop red, then, you know what I mean, maybe I need to slide. But if it's just like, that shit like dark pink, light red.
Dark pink.
You know what I'm saying? We might have to figure some things out. You know what I mean? We might have to work on some shit. So, I think the other thing about it too is that you wind up piecing together too many different relationships to compare things to, right? Like you get so many relationships. It's kind of like having a job. If you done had 1,000 jobs, you ain't worried about quitting a job because you know you're gonna get another job.
Miss one, next 15.
You know what I'm saying? But if you had like if your first job was like. Not Amazon, but like your first job was like a board of directors at Apple. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then your next job is board of directors at Android or something like that. Your next job is board of directors at Amazon. And then it's like, it's going to be wild hard to go flip burgers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what comes with a lot of that things is like you get some experience, and the good things are that you learn what you don't like, which a lot of people don't get the chance to learn what they don't like. You learn what you do like, and you don't get enough of an opportunity to be like, yo, this is the stuff that I love. This is the stuff that I like. So it's just like leadership. Shitty leaders taught me all the things not to do. Right. So eventually, and I feel like shitty leaders are just as influential or better than good leaders for you, because a shitty leader, if I got 20 tools in the toolbox and I have 15 shitty leaders use 15 different tools, well, I only got 5 tools in the toolbox and I'm going to be a master of my craft with these 5. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I think it has adverse effect on expectations. I think it has an adverse effect of like piecing together, because now it's harder. Like if you dated a guy who like, you like tall guys, but you dated a guy who was 6'6". You like muscular guys, but you dated a bodybuilder. You like dudes who are romantic, but you dated this like hopeless romantic dude or something like that. You like dudes who do poetry, but then you dated the best poet in the world or something like that. And you dated all of these dudes. I like dudes who are manly, but then you dealt with like all of these people, and then you come look at me and be like, damn, I'm not the best at everything, but the second best at everything, I add up better. You know what I'm saying? Like I add up still at number 1. Motherfuckers can't cook. Hey, oxtail game ain't tight.
Yeah, I think that in dealing with a lot of people, we do find that reason to escape.
Yeah,
we find a reason to escape. So it's like, well, I don't want to go through this with this person. I'm out. I don't want to. So I do think that having too much of those experiences kind of limits your optimism on a situation actually lasting for yourself.
Yeah, and too, it just gives you the idea where it's like, I'm gonna be all right. Like it should be a certain amount of fear, not fear, but like if you're in a good relationship, there's something that keeps you there. And there's something about, like, you can sit there and you can always look at that grass being green, but you like, this grass over here is pretty fucking nice though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and just like we say, like, we done had our ups and downs, our ebbs and flows of relationship, but it'll come down to the fact, one, we know everybody else out there ain't shit. Like, we know they ain't shit. But then on top of it, you see, you be like, well, maybe the grass is green. Maybe the grass is greener, but you know what? I don't want to play in that grass. I like this grass. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here. And so there should be a healthy fear that's not from like, oh, no, there ain't nobody out there that ain't shit. It should be a healthy fear like, what if I never find this again?
Yeah.
Like, more of a like, why don't I stand here and try and make it work? Because it gives people more of a, when you have a lot of relationship experience, it gives people a lot of expectations to try to tangle it together. Because it's basically like, if I drove a Lamborghini and I drove the big monster truck and I drove this and I drove that, I want a car that can do all of that. Don't no car do all that. You know what I'm saying? Cars just don't do that. And then Jeff right here, he said,
first of all, let's get to, you slipping. It's Mrs. Jackson. That's right.
if you're nasty.
If you nasty. But yeah, you got it. Shitty leaders.
Sorry.
Shitty leaders help to mold me into the person that knows what not to do. And then some people learn like that. Yeah, some people learn.
I think everybody learns like that.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that that's the number one way.
Still go into the shits. You know, like, you seen this, you know what not to do, but you just don't want to take it. You just got to go into the shit.
Yeah, but it's like, it depends on how shitty it is. Like, I think in the term of like Jeff talking about from a military perspective, we'll look at that shitty leader like, oh, I saw you do this and somebody died. I don't have an instance to try that. I don't want to see that to fruition. When you see something goes to fruition in an exact same situation, you're like, oh no, I don't want that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Some people out here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I think it depends on like the totality. I mean, like the not totality is not the word I'm looking for, but how in depth we're going into watching the failures. Like, I've seen people make bad decisions that cause lives, and I'm like, guess what the fuck I'm not doing? Making that dumbass call.
I also think too, when you're dating a lot of people, or when you have a lot of relationships under your belt, it's always that comparison.
And comparison is the thief of happiness.
Yeah, you're gonna always be comparing. Well, you know,
her booty was fatter.
Or Sheila did it like this, or she used to do this for me, but Iman only did this. You know, so it's gonna always be that. And I always, you know, this is something I always say. I'm like, you talk about stuff that you're missing, but that probably is within you that you're missing those things. And you're not going to find that in any other person that you date. So you keep having these relationships and having these relationships and you don't know, you're always going to be running. So you're always going to be running. Yeah. But you're running from yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it was kind of like you said, when we talked about it on the previous podcast, and he was hitting it on the head there about like, sometimes you really got to understand that it's hard to give what you don't. It's hard to expect and want and find what you don't have.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't got love in your heart, it's hard to find love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you want understanding, but you're not an understanding person, that shit get real wild. Like, what you looking for? It's kind of like that. It's like that 90% rule. Like, that people, especially when you sit here and tell somebody something, and it's for men and women. Like, oh, you want somebody who in great shape. You want them to be a sex demon with a low body count and a great bank account and a great credit score and this and that. But it's like, you ain't got no edges. You got to, like, you fake as
still living in your mama's basement.
You still living in your mama's basement. You on, like, your credit score is 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't expect, but people expect so much. They look at other people like lottery tickets where it's like, and it comes down to that same idea. Like, everybody wants to. Oh, Rocky farted. Woof roof. It's okay, Mr. Woof roof.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's kind of like I just lost my train of thought thanks to old Gassy McGassington down here. Oof.
I know, right? What are we feeding him?
I don't know. Probably another dog. Where's the other dog at?
Over there.
What were we talking about? Shit singed my nose hairs.
I know, right?
Suck that up right quick. But yeah, so yeah, I think it has. So I mean, like, there's some good effects to it, right? Like, you kind of know what's out there, but people, it gets into that comparison, just like we're saying. Like, when we grew up, if me and you went to the same school, I competed. Like, I would have been in Fort Lauderdale in high school, competing with people in Fort Lauderdale, and people in our school. I wouldn't have been competing with the dude in Brazil who got crazy money.
No, I don't know nothing about him. He don't know
You don't know
anything
nothing.
about me.
You know what I mean? We ain't had
Yeah.
that social media. We ain't have all these other comparisons, right? Because when you compare, you always gonna find somebody doing better. And the sad part about it is like if you over here like, oh, I'm the richest man in the world, it's like you're gonna find somebody that's doing better in happiness or in better physical shape or something. So it's always something to chase after, and that's why life is about balance.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to kind of pick what you want to be good at, right? Like, you know, they say the jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But a jack of all trades is better than the master of one, right? So
yeah. I think too, like, you know, when we were talking about
yeah, don't be touching my
people
thigh
being
like that.
shut up.
Well, I'm turning this camera pan down. Let me tell you something. We out here playing, girl. I'm rubbing these thighs. Don't let the hoochie daddy shows fool you. These quadriceps is ready.
I'm so thorough too. I know Jeff did not want to see that visualization.
I know Jeff better not tell me nothing about no thighs. Let me tell you what Mr. Howell better not ever talk to me about thighs. Especially, I'm talking about thighs. I done had to see this lowland silverback out here with all that thigh meat out. You know what I'm saying? My boy was out there doing great things. But no, God damn it, Rocky.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, when you're dealing with people or whatever, if you don't even know what you're looking for, you know, so you expect all these things from people, and it's like, well, what are you looking for? I don't know, but when I find it, I'll know. I'm like, dude,
How the hell you
come
know?
on, you won't know. You won't know. You don't know what you're looking for, probably because you don't have it inside you. So how you? It's like, you know, you loving someone, right? You can't give anybody something that you don't possess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because
So-
when you're looking for something, I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you can't do that. So it's the same thing, you know, when you're dating or you're trying to find somebody to be with. Like, if you don't know what you're looking for, then what you really doing?
Yeah, and
What
when
you really doing? You're gonna get everything.
and his aim is, that's why it's like, if you want goals, they tell you to write it down, figure out what you want, this and that. But people just have this like, because don't nobody want to work for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't nobody want to work for shit. Don't nobody want to plan. Don't nobody want to do nothing. So it's just like, I want to be happy. Well, what does happy look like for you? Like, if you ask the average person, male or female, and they be able to like, they say, oh, I just want to be happy. What does happiness look like to you? Well, I don't know, but I'm gonna know it when I see it. And it's like,
I'm gonna know it when I get it.
but then,
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
You probably happy now. I don't realize.
Yeah, you sure?
What is happiness?
Yeah,
Really?
what is happening? Because you know
are
what? This is the
chasing, a
crazy
feeling
thing.
or what?
I grew up poor. You grew up poor. So you had to think, like, I grew up, I had pictures all on the wall. I thought we had money. Like, I ain't know until I got to other people's houses that had more money than me. And then I started doing the comparison, like, oh, well, they got this. Oh, well, they got the whole house, not the apartment. Oh, they don't live on the 17th floor of the projects.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm over there looking at these pictures and stuff like that. Like, boy, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I got Black Jesus over here. I got the dogs playing cards. I got the Last Supper. All black Last Supper. You know what I mean? I'm over here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing it. And then I go somewhere and somebody got like a Van Gogh painting or some shit when I went for somewhere for basketball. Like, I read about him. Is that his ears missing? Is that Van Gogh? Like, you know what I mean? So then you get into that comparison game and don't know, right? So, it's a horrible thing. It's a great thing and a horrible thing to compare, but we never want to get a bad deal, right? It's like when we get a car. It's like everybody want to be like, oh, well, you only paid $17,000. Well, I paid $16,900.
And then we so afraid too to get hurt, right? So we use our fear, like, oh, I'm in the first before this motherfucker do it. You know, oh, I'm gonna do this first. I said we were done. You know, so it comes to that too. Like, what's the purpose of going through whatever it is that you're going through? Even if it's something that you feel like you've desired or you have it in this person and you guys are moving forward, but there's a stumbling block. I'm like, well, I'm through with it. I'm going to hurry up and be through with it. So I don't got to feel this burn. I ain't got to feel whatever it is. To put in the work to make us work.
Yeah, and most people don't want, and I've seen it a lot with women where, especially because women mature faster than men. So a lot of times what happened is women will sit there and say like, it's all this conditional shit that they put out. Well, I'll do this if a man do that. I'll do this if a man do that. Then the man finally come across and do all that stuff you're talking about. Then it's like, oh shit, I finally got to grow. Now, you know what I mean? You've been selling wolf tickets for the past 10 years about something. It's like, well, I'll do this and I'll be this and I'll do this and I'll do this. And then you get that man and it's like, well, damn, now I got to stop selling wolf tickets. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to actually be about the shit I'm talking about. Now when you got to do that growth and you haven't been trying to grow or have that experience or something like that, it's been it's been it's just gonna be tough for you, right? So it's just a lot to learn from that.
I know, especially me. You know, I'll be the first one to tell you.
I wasn't even gonna say nothing about you
Like, yes, you was.
I wasn't even gonna put you on blast like that. I wasn't gonna do you like that to the peoples.
Dating and everything, you know, you meet these guys subpar, okay, to what I needed. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you fucked up. Yep, you fucked up and you fucked up. And so when it comes to being in a situation where now I feel like I've reached the pinnacle of, okay, I'm good. They need to catch up. I'm straight. So I meet somebody now. I'm like, damn, I didn't know I had all these issues. I didn't know I had all these problems. I didn't know I need to do this. I didn't know I need to work on my communication. So being with people who do not challenge you in different areas of your life, it keeps you stagnant. So when you meet somebody who challenges you,
I'm a challenge.
It's like, damn, I didn't know I was this bad. Yes, you are that bad. You're always gonna be evolving, so you're always gonna be in a space where you should always be in a space where you can grow from whoever it is that's in your circle. If you can't grow from them, if you feel like I don't even want to talk to this person because the kind of advice I'm gonna get is kind of like baseline, like I need something else. It's just this. Oh, I need something else.
I need something. I don't know what it is, but
you don't need to be around those people.
It's you.
You don't need to be around those people.
You need to get your shit together.
Yeah, change where you are. Change your environment. Change the environment of people that you're around.
If you think about it like a gym, right? Like, what's your ultimate goal? If your ultimate goal is to be in a happy, healthy relationship, with a person that loves you and all this other stuff, these are things you got to look at when you're like, okay, well, this is what I want. Well, if you want a goal, like if I want a goal and I want to look a certain way, I want to weigh a certain amount of weight, I got to put in that work at the gym, right? So, such a fucking lady. But it's like going to the gym, right? So if I go to a gym and I find a great gym, boom. So it's like if you thought about the person as the gym, and I'm making this analogy on the fly, so it might come out trash. But if you thought about a person like
already
if you think about the person like the gym, and this is where you want to go, like this is my home gym, this is where I fight at, this is where I spar at, this is what I do, this and that. You find a good gym, like you should go to other gyms and do different workouts and do stuff but the goal is not for me to show you how good I am at hitting a heavy bag. The goal is for me to work on my weak points. Like you were saying before on the previous podcast about like everybody that I done dealt with came with growth. Like even those relationships where you're like, man, I hate it. Like, yo, this is tough. This is like, this is rough. These are the things I got to do. Jeff going to sleep already? Oh man, Jeff out here. But yeah, like so you'll sit there and good night, brother. You'll sit there and you gotta look at it like a gym. These are workouts that you're supposed to get, right? Like so if you're not being challenged, you're not gonna get gains. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not being challenged in the workout, you're not gonna have the gains, you're not gonna get the results you want. And then it winds up being a definition of insanity because you continue to do the same thing repeatedly expecting different results.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what it is. What y'all thinking about there in the chat?
What's on y'all mind? What they doing on Instagram? Bring up Instagram too over here. Oh yeah. Look at who joined the chat.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
So anyway, switching gears from there, relationships are hard, man. I think not only having the personal boundaries, as we were discussing earlier, is important, but your own, along with those boundaries, the self-care model that you have to have. You guys have to develop your own self-care model to keep yourself available, ready, and able to deal with other people in your circle. Right?
I believe, too, while you're talking about modeling, that's why like it's so important to have successful relationships for your children to see. Because, like, what happens is if you don't have this relationship that, like we didn't have, well, you did. You had a relationship. Your parents are still together. Like, I didn't have a relationship to look at like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a glimpse of it between my grandmother and my grandfather who raised me. But then my grandfather passed away. So I didn't really get a good look at in-depth day-to-day. Yeah, those were my great-grandparents. So I didn't get an in-depth day-to-day, like, oh, this is what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we either have access to what we think is a healthy relationship that isn't. We have access to unhealthy relationships or a lack of real relationship at all which affects us because we don't know what we're we don't have like a model to be like, this is what I want. Like if you sit there, like even when a girl goes in there and say she want to get her ass done, she take a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like when a dude like, what's my physical goals? He got a dude that he looking at to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was Mr. Olympia or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or Mr. Universe. It's like, so you gotta have a goal, you gotta have a model to go after. So when you don't have a goal, a model, it's just like, well, I'm gonna know it when I get there. Like I'm gonna just keep working out. Well, what you gonna keep changing diet? Do that? Well, I'm gonna know when my body good. I'm gonna know it when I get there. No, excuse me. That's another thing that we spend so much time, and I think it comes back to what we spoke about even before. Like we starting to circle back to something. We've been putting out some free game out here. You know what I'm saying? But it starts to circle back to the things that we want, and it circles back to the things that we want, and knowing what we want and how these things are perceived to us to know what we want. Right? To be like, yo, this is the goal that I want. These are the goals that I want to reach. These are the goals that I want to. Yeah. These are the goals that I want to attain. Right? So if we don't have those goals, we just aimlessly and blindly are just going around like, whatever happens. And it's like somebody like if you want love and somebody gives you something and this sounds like love, looks like love, smells like love, you're like, must be love.
Must be love.
Because you don't got nothing to compare it to because you ain't never had love.
And
so
you ain't never seen it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when we talk about anything else, like any experience you have, like when somebody was like, well, how does it feel to be a man? I ain't got nothing to compare it to.
Right.
Like switch me with Fox for one day and then see what happens. But then Fox is going to go to jail because don't let Fox be a man ever.
I'm knocking them all down, okay? All of them. Just let you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let y'all know that if you ever see me in your DMs, it's because me and Fox switched bodies. It wasn't me. You ain't that special.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Depends on how they look. I'll tell you. But yeah, I do think that's that drink. I do think that being with people. I don't forgot what we're talking about now.
That's that drink. That's that drink.
I got it. Listen, so look, I'm so exhausted, guys. I'm gonna tell you something. We have been trying to do this podcast for a few hours now.
That's why we on the webcam and everything.
Yes, we finally was able to sit down and get this podcast done, but it's all good. We appreciate everything you guys are doing and your support as always. So you know that. But yeah, so when you with somebody, and I think when you're talking about the vibrantness about it, and also when you're talking about what will make us, what are we looking at? What are we looking at as far as long term and what we got inside of us to propel us forward, the models and stuff that we see around us. Even though we see those things, I do believe that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be able to identify it for ourselves.
Yeah, but I think you got a better idea. Like, it's kind of like if I told you to find, it's almost like if I told you to find an animal that meets this criteria. It's like you might not find the exact animal. Like, you're not going to find that love that you saw, but you're going to find something
and that's
love for you. Like,
but that's the thing people keep chasing, though. You keep chasing something that you like, okay, yeah, it looked like this, but it's the idea of,
but that's why I say it's the difference, and that's why I talk about like it's important to have a model for love, not an idea, a glimpse, or like a thought, a flash in the pan to be like, oh, I see that. Like he took her on a trip, that's love, or she cooks and cleans and does this and that, that's love. No, it's like when you like that's why in parenting is so important to look and for the kids to see like this is what love is. Like love isn't always like. It ain't all just hunky-dory the whole time, or this and that. Like, love's going to be some fights. There's going to be some arguments, but the difference is like, even seeing us fuss, like, me and you fuss, we fuss. Yeah. But the thing about it is like, ain't nobody walking out with no black eyes. Ain't nobody limping off. Ain't no ambulance coming. Ain't no police coming. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know that, like, oh, an argument isn't everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a kid looking at our relationship, I'm saying like, oh, an argument shouldn't be the end of the world. An argument shouldn't mean that somebody got to get dragged off in the ambulance. Somebody shouldn't get dragged off in the car, bleeding, arrested, and this and that. Like, you can have arguments, disagreements, and all types of conversations, but at the end of the day, it's like everything's still getting done. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm looking at us, I'm like, well, I still ate today. You know what I mean? Bills still paid.
There's a resolution that's made.
Yeah, or you don't. But as a kid, you don't really know the resolution.
Yeah, you don't know the resolution, but it's still like, okay, everything is still where it
everything is stable.
Yeah,
it's stable.
Yeah.
It ain't like It ain't like, boom, this bridge feel like it's about to come down at any moment now. Let me see what's up. Like, no, it's not that. But that's the difference between getting a model, because when you get a glimpse of something, you don't really have an idea. But when you see it, like, it's easy when you're looking at a relationship to just deal with somebody for like a couple weeks, send your representative out and be I can be everything you want to be. It ain't. I'm telling you right now, if a woman finds me attractive and I know what she want, I could be the man of your dreams for 2 weeks. Probably a month, depending on how bad y'all.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, month 2, we gonna have some goddamn disagreements. Like, some things is gonna fly. Like, cause it's the difference between like dating and going to each other and this and that. Like when when we was going out on dates and not living in the same place. Yeah. Well, that shit get different when it's like,
hey, it's you again.
You again, huh?
You again.
Here we meet again. I'm still pissed off from yesterday, but guess what? You still here, and I'm still here. So I guess you know what, you want eggs?
But that's
you want some eggs, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, that's reassuring to know that you still here. Regardless of what it is that we're gonna go through.
Yeah, and I think reassurance is one of those big things where it's kind of like I know initially I wasn't that great at reassurance because I was like, I'm here, I ain't going nowhere. Like, I'm still here. You woke up. I didn't leave. The truck's still in the driveway. You know what I mean? But sometimes you need to hear that reassurance. Is like, I ain't going nowhere. We just got to figure this shit out. Like, I'm just mad at you. But my boy snore. But you know what I mean? I'm mad at you, but that don't mean I'm leaving. It just mean I'm mad. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And that gives you that reassurance that like, all right, he get mad don't mean he gonna roll. He just mad. Like, maybe I won't get the cuddles I'm supposed to get tonight or something like that, but he's still going to be here in the morning. He's still coming home from work. He ain't going to get a Pepsi and a pack of cigarettes.
Some things change, so you just roll with the flows and the ebbs of the relationship.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to really take time to figure out what it is that we're missing inside of ourselves first. Because a lot of times, just like religion, we seek outside, and what we need is right here inside of us.
Because really, a lot of times in religion, a lot of times when people look for religion, is just because the idea of like living in this world and knowing that you're just so small. You just laughing at me rocking this snoring ass dog. But it's like a lot of people, why they dive so deep into religion and they just like, Bible, Quran, or Torah thumpers, you know what I mean? It's because that they're looking for something. They want something, and then they look and think about it, and it's like, you know how depressing that is for some people to sit there and be like, damn, I am like a speck of sand, and not even in the universe. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I am so nothing in the big scheme of things. Like, if I get wiped out right now, a couple people sad, but in the big scheme of things, the world is not going to change.
Even like, we've lost. Too, we have some people who like to blame, they get upset with the religion, or they get upset with those people what they really have done is they threw their problems onto them and expecting you to fix it, expecting that change to come from you that they so desperately seeking. So, and then they're like, oh, you know what, fuck it, this and that. I don't want to go to the church because of this, or I don't deal with these type of people. Because you put all your faith, all your everything into that person or that thing. And that shouldn't have been, that accountability should have been on you.
That's the biggest thing, is no accountability. Because, I mean, and it's the same thing with any service. Like, if somebody come to you for something, like, you know what I mean? Like, a woman could come in there and be like, I want to get my hair done. I want it to look like this. Well, my hair don't look like that. Nah, you got a weird shaped ass head. Your hair looks like that. Your braids look like that. Your head just shaped like you know what I mean? Your head just shaped like a kitchen table. Like, there's nothing you could do about that, right? Like, or you come in there and be like, I went to a personal trainer. I was going to him for 6 months and I ain't losing no weight. Well, you was eating a red velvet cake every night. You know what I'm saying? You can't be sitting there smacking
damn double chocolate deluxe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't be smacking cookies. A box of zebra cakes every night talking about some, damn, I ain't got a 6-pack yet. Like, you ain't get that keg in one day. Yeah. How you expecting to get all of that, right? So, people, and that's just unrealistic expectations and everything else that people have. You know what I'm saying?
No, let's switch gears for a minute. So, I saw this article and I was so happy, okay? And I was still bothered, too. Because
is this I can't make this shit up?
Yes, can't make this shit up. So, a daycare owner shoots child molester husband as her kids from her daycare comes forward with claims of molestation and abuse. Okay,
all heroes don't wear capes.
Let me tell you something. She went to the hotel, all right, where I guess they were staying or something. She had her last will and testament written out. She had everything written out.
Oh, she was ready for
the
this shit to
reason
go however
why,
it go.
however it was gonna go.
If I die, I die.
However it was gonna go. She had everything prepared. Okay, prepared. In that damn safe, she had her weapon of choice. Okay. Husband up there, she confronted him with it. He started to get a little angry at her, whatever. Her story was that she feared for her life. He came towards her, basically.
God bless.
Came towards her, and she shot his ass. Not one time, I think a couple times she shot him. So my thing is, she's in jail now.
Hold on. Did you hear about when you said talking about this one, B Rabbit told me about this too. Old boy was still alive when the police showed up.
He was in life-threatening critical condition or something like that.
He was in critical condition. He was like, she shot me. She like, shut up before I finish your dumb ass off. Like something to that effect. Like,
yeah, I mean, just because a lot of women, first of all, and it's so sad to say, they don't believe these babies when they tell them something's happened to them, especially if it's their husband or the man who they have primary in their lives.
So not really a sensitive subject, but it's like one of the things I think about as a man who has been in relationships with women with kids that aren't mine, and you are one of them. I think about like, damn, what if they lying? And it's like, but out of the cases that I've seen and know of, like that's been in close proximity, more times than not, the kids are telling the truth. Like there are those shitty cases where a dude falls between the cracks and the kids were lying or something like that, and she didn't discern anything. It's like she just went high and to the right. Like the kid was like, he looked at me like this. He told me, and they went far to the right. But it's like, to be honest, it's like it's disgusting that those are almost like far and few in between. To be honest, like a lot of times it's just the kid trying. And I'm gonna let you finish, and I had a question that I've asked you before. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my thing is that she's in jail now, and people are like, "Why? Why the fuck is she in jail?
What's her GoFundMe?"
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what
about
is
to
her
put something on
fucking
your books,
GoFundMe?
baby?
She's held without bail.
They better not have no bail because I'd be getting you home,
She's
baby.
She's held without bail, and that's crazy to me because I'm like, so people like this disgusting ass man, it could be a woman too. But still, this disgusting ass person decides to go and further alter the life of these kids. She takes action, and now all of a sudden, okay, now she's the one in jail behind it. Okay, maybe she shouldn't. It's a human being. She shouldn't. Well, he deserves that or more to me. Though.
It's the thing about laws where I don't understand how she goes up for no. Like why? Like the only time I really understand people going with no bail is like, you did something like wild, heinous. You probably gonna get killed if you out there, and the jail is the safest place, or you're like a flight risk. Like, but I mean, she worked at a day. She's a daycare owner. I mean, I'm not saying she don't got paper, but I don't think she allowed to like just pack it all up and go to Cuba or some shit.
Like she should have finished. She should have did what she had to do thoroughly. Like I don't know why she missed. And she was that close proximity.
I would have been out there with the Skittles.
I don't know why she missed.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Maybe it was a reason why. I mean, everything
happened
for a reason.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Everything happened for a reason. So it just wasn't meant to be. She was ready though. I'll tell you that. She was ready.
She wasn't ready to finish it.
She was ready. So
I would have walked up like it was Don't Be a Menace. I'm like, poof, marked him off the list.
The fact is,
man.
That's the man. Yeah. Man. My thing is that she decides to take action and take action for these kids who probably feel like nobody hears them. Yeah. Nobody believes them.
Yeah.
Nobody,
and you know what's
they don't
crazy?
Have a voice.
What's crazy about that is it seems like a lot of time with predators or like predatory men that I see is that it seems like they know who to prey on. I don't know, like that's like I don't know if that's like almost like a natural animal reaction or something like that, but it seems like predatory type people know who to like they can see it, like, this easy prey. You know what I mean? But the thing, and it's like something I never understood, because they'll say like rape and molestation, all these things, they're about control. It's about control, and then they'll say, and then like a lot of these like child molesters say shit like, oh, well, kids are just so pure, and I wanted to be pure. It's like, motherfucker, you eat Spam out of a can. Like, what do you care about pure? You don't even drink water. Your pH balance is 17. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you care about purity, right? But they'll say all of these things. You want to be like, it's just, I don't know. It's just wild and it's sick. I mean, I hear when people in other countries make the argument about young women or young men when they're talking about, you know, oh, well, she's 16, she's 17. And saying, you know, some states that's legal in the
Yeah,
in the
some
U.S.
states.
or whatever, right? We just
Georgia's one of them.
yeah, like we just be thinking at 18, like 18 and thing, but a lot of states is, you know what I mean, 16. But when you get down to like kids, you talk about daycare, it's like, come on, bro, that shit ain't never gonna fly.
Those are babies.
Those are babies, bro. Like I'm talking about stick his dick in a blender. Like get him out of here.
Yeah.
Like that shit, like, and it's
That's
just
why she should have shot his ass.
shot him right in the dick hole. Should have lined that shit up. Dick. If you had to went to Legendary Operations and Tactical Supply, and you had to seen us for some training, you would have been able to shoot him in the dick hole.
You wouldn't have missed.
Right in the dick hole.
Aim small, miss small.
Aim small, but God
right.
damn it, welcome to Legendary Operations. But
That's right.
So the thing that I was wondering about that, and it's a question, and I was thinking like this is something that maybe you can give some insight to, and I asked you this because like you have all like one of your worries that you'd have is that like, you know what I mean, and you said it's from a past life when one of your worries is like, yo, yeah, somebody gonna come, like the soldiers gonna come and they're gonna rape me and my daughters. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking like, yo, when did you feel okay with leaving me here? Or even here, right? Like leaving me at the old house was the first time you left me, like with the kids. Well, like, how did you just be like, all right, well, I'm good? Because I've been like, I didn't think nothing of it until like you start talking about that, right? Because I didn't think nothing of it because it's like fucking kids in the house. I make sure they eat. I make sure they don't fucking die until Fox come home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and never thought about it. But then I'm thinking like, but you had to think about like what ifs, the what ifs about me, because I know I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But you didn't know immediately. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get that like?
I mean, I look at my kids. You know, I look at my kids. If I'm leaving, they know I'm going somewhere and they cool. They want to stay home or they want to, you know what I'm saying? Especially be around you.
Yeah.
They don't feel, usually, you know, the children, they have this kind of like how our pets would have, you know, this intuition about people. Either they don't want to fuck with you or they, you know, they're just like, okay, whatever. You know, like he's cool. I ain't going to worry or whatever. My daughters, they're older. So had they been younger, no, I wouldn't have left them with you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I don't know, you know, what you would do.
And then like the words sound shitty, but it's like you can shoot me in the head later, but you can't unfuck them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I just feel as though, you know, and knowing my children and their comfortability level, whatever, even though they, you know, still getting to know you, or at that time we're still trying to get to know you as a person. They didn't feel to the point where it's like, well, don't you leave me here with this man, Mom.
Don't you leave me here with Mister.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't you leave me here with Mister.
Right.
So all right, so then even when it comes down to, and it ain't even just girls because these sickos out here. Boys, so all right, then what about being Squirrel? Because, you know what I mean, like Squirrel, a little boy, and it's like, I'll take Squirrel and go. Like, when was you comfortable to be like, all right, well, my baby probably going to be okay? Like,
yeah, I think it was too, you know, because if I had to leave them for whatever the reason was, you know, he'd be with his sisters.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the times when it was like just me and Squirrel.
I mean, I think because of the way you handle my girls, I didn't feel that about you for my son. You know what I'm saying?
I just wonder because I think that'd be like good gouge for women because I know that guy, like I never really thought about it per se, and then like when you told me about like the stuff about the military and like, oh, I'm afraid like we're gonna have martial law and the military gonna come in here and they're gonna kidnap me and rape me and my girls and all this stuff. It's like, now not that particular situation, but a similar situation got to be something that women worry about when they got kids and they introduce a man in there, and it's like, dude, and it's like this dude. 9 times out of 10, the dude's the biggest person in the house, the most dangerous person in the house. You know what I'm saying? In our case, I'm 100% the most dangerous person in the house, and it's almost one of them things where it's like all you could do is just like if something was to happen, all you could do is just try to fight me for your life, which you know is exercise of futility.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons too. Like, you know, when you have small children, girls too. Well, mainly it was for girls usually, right? So we wouldn't really leave our girls with anybody until they're able to speak. Till they're able to say what's been going on with them. That
was kind of my rule of thumb that my grandmother gave me about like, don't leave my babies with nobody until they're old enough to speak. And the shitty part about it is that that's not the greatest advice in the world, but just like I said, you can't unfuck them.
You can't
unfuck them, but it's almost like you feel like you'll get some closure because I'm going to come home and kill you. And then, you know what I mean, I'm going to come home and kill you and show my kid, like, see, I'm here for you and this and that, da-da-da, but still, it's still fucked up from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's, and I just think about, too, especially from a woman's perspective, like, I know, from a man's perspective, thinking about it, it's like, well, I don't know. Women kind of give you more of a warm fuzzy. Like for instance, you remember back in the days, like when we was coming up, they'll tell you like, well, if you feel you feel uncomfortable with something like that, you can just find a woman with a kid, just because. And we still tell our kids some of that today is like you know what I mean, if you're uncomfortable, you somewhere it's like find a policeman or find a fireman or find a worker if you can't find a lady with a kid. Because she's probably somewhat fucking decent and has a heart, right? Like, you know what I mean? Even though, but it's like crazy when you look overseas and shit like that, or you look in certain cases, it's like they ain't on the goddamn plot, like still snatching the kids up and doing everything else. So when I think about it, I from a revenge standpoint, I know I can handle it because it'll be like if I left you home with Chunks and something happened to Chunks, okay, there's nothing you could do to stop my wrath from coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that I can handle, but I still can't change that situation, right? And I was just thinking about it, like with men, you just gotta like, it's sad because I am a man, and I hate this because I'm not that type of man, but that you have to be more weary than per se I have to be. Now there's women who do stuff to kids and stuff like that too, plenty of them. Like it ain't even a small number, but it just seems to be more vile, more violent, and more frequent with men. With children with that type of deviancy. And I don't have no statistics at all. Just from like I ain't had too many aunts in my family that is like don't leave Scooby around Aunt Sherry. She gonna fuck him. Like no, you know what I'm saying? It was like we all got that uncle that was like don't leave the kids around. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
the fact that you have to say that.
It's wild that we was covering up that shit to keep up.
This goes on. Yeah, this goes on.
Hey, don't lead him around this and that. It's like, why are we not fucking him up?
Right.
Like we not having that in my generation. I remember thinking about that as a kid. I was at the barbecue and I was with my uncle. We went to go take a piss or something like that. Came out and I knew I had made it to the big boy table because he had the spicy beef sausage instead of the glizzy. You know what I'm saying? I stepped into a different type of glizzy. You know what I mean? And I stepped up there. He was just talking to me about things and everything else. And I remember somebody was saying something about, it was like, yo, we're such and such, right? Like, we're spooky. They're like, hey, make sure he ain't over there with Uncle such and such. It's like, but make sure he ain't with Uncle such and such. And it's like, and I'm gonna be like, you know what I'm gonna do? When I'm grown and I'm my uncle, like when I'm sitting there looking at my uncle, I'm looking at my Uncle Troy and all of them, I'm like, I'm not gonna have Uncle such and such. Like I will knock Uncle such and such head off. Like we not about to have this. Like we'll keep the family. I burn the whole family down.
The fact that it was that hush that kept secret.
Yeah, that hush that kept secret, and it broke so many families apart.
Yo, so many of our kids.
On a lighter note, I feel sad for kids nowadays, and it's not even about to get into the deep shit about social media and they all depressed and emo and they whack as hell. No, they can't eat. They can't eat hot dogs.
What do you mean?
Because they're gonna be hip to like, oh, you a glizzy goblin.
Oh,
like that's crazy that kids eat. How many hot dogs would you say you've eaten in your lifetime?
I ate a lot of hot dogs.
Like at least triple digits, right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. We ain't never thought we done turned our head sideways. We done unhinged our jaws to get a hot dog in. But we done did everything else, just eating hot dogs. Never thought nothing about it. Now these kids can't even, and it's crazy because we in this era of like where everybody's so sensitive about LGBT community, this and that, da. And kids like you eat a glizzy. It's called a glizzy, for God's sake. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even calling it a hot dog no more. And they got all the little sounds to put with the, you know what I mean, Instagram and TikTok and everything else to play like. That homie, like, you know what I mean? Everything else is like, oh, he a glizzy goblin. Hey, yo. Like, y'all can't even eat hot dogs.
Y'all can't enjoy them good-ass Hebrew National.
Hey, answer to a higher power. Like that is crazy, man. Like y'all can't just even eat a hot dog. Like we used to get Italian, like so back home we got Italian cheeseburgers and Italian hot dogs. All it really is a big ass piece of bread with whatever the meat that it said, like hamburgers, cheeseburgers or whatever, or hot dogs, and then French fries in it. But they had a gym. It used to be the spot back home, back in my city, off of, I think I remember correctly, it's off 14th Ave. But it was Jimmy Buff's. Used to go in there and get a double Italian hot dog. 2 hot dogs, French fries, all the stuff in there, this and that.
2 sausages in your mouth.
2 glizzies.
2 sausages
goblin.
in your mouth.
Hey, I'm talking about Gawk 3000. I'm talking about, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, when nobody about to say, hey, yo, you know, and that's how you know our kids is too privileged, Because you see them eating a hot dog and somebody come over there, oh, here, Glizzy Goblin. They'll throw the hot dog. Let me tell you something. I'm going to finish this hot dog and I'm going to fight every one of you motherfuckers because I ain't got no money to be wasting on no hot dog. That's crazy to be sitting there like, y'all got that type of money? Could you imagine throwing a hot dog away that you just bought when you was 9 years or 10 years old, something like that, when you had your little change? Ain't happening. I'm eating this Glizzy. Y'all can call me what y'all want, bruh. I'll be a Glizzy gladiator. I'm smashing. I'm shooting the fade with everybody.
Let's go.
I'm talking about still got relish right here. What's up, baby?
So that's why you sad for the kids because they can't enjoy hot dogs.
Can't enjoy hot dogs. Yo, when you think about a grill, when you think about somebody about to light the grill up, and like Bunny Pops used to say, somebody about to have a Q, about to have a Q. We about to have a good old Q. You know what I'm saying? You expect maybe some things might get smoked. Maybe some things might not. But whatever. But the point of the matter is we going to be all right, though. We going to be all right.
So this is where we at now. Gun to your heads. What's going on with your thing over there? Hey to all y'all who've just joined in on the chat. We are late one tonight. We started late. We're a little tired, but we getting through it. Okay. It's cuddles time after this. It's cuddles time. Definitely cuddles time. Okay, here we go. Y'all already know what time it is. Gun to your head, backed by popular demand.
Fox was slacking, but it's gun to your head time.
Because this is why. Because y'all have not been sending them in anymore. So y'all send them in and I will say them. If you don't send them in, then I'm like, whatever. Okay? But it was requested today. It was requested today. So I'm like, okay. They missed it. So here we go. Gun to your head. Would you rather have a sexually transmitted infection and never pass it on, or have everyone think that you have a sexually transmitted infection?
You know I'm about to nuke this shit because I got to talk about. Yo, if I'm pissing out razor blades, that's something different. But if I ain't got, like, if it's some shit like no real symptoms and I can't pass it, yo, give me that, because we ain't about to be running around here calling me dragon dick.
Ew.
Like every time I piss, I got to say Jakartas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm tell you what the fuck, we ain't do that. We're not doing that. That's what we're not doing.
So you rather have one and not pass it on than to...
Yeah, everybody think I got one. Yeah, fuck all that shit people tell me. I don't care what people think. I care if everybody think my dick look like a nutty buddy. I care. I need everybody to know my dick does not look like a nutty buddy.
Oh
I'd rather
God.
not pass that on. And then it's kind of like, and that's everybody thinks I got it. That's like saying that, you think I have an STD. That's you thinking I'm like, fuck, I don't got it. I can take a test, this and that, da, 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 da. And the doctor like, I think you got one. Fuck you too, no. Like, you know, so it's like you might as well have it at that point. I'd rather have some shit and it's just like, I know it and I can't pass it and be like, I'd be like them people in the Valtrex commercial like,
Got whole groups and shit.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just out here. I hit the Mega Millions because I got more on Valtrex. You know what I mean? Life is good.
No, I'm the opposite. I'd rather you think I have it than to actually have it and not pass it on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I want my body to be good to go. That's
So
it.
you rather me think you got the know you clap?
Yep. You can think all you want to. All you want to.
No, because I'm going to leave. Like, how did you get the know you clap?
I didn't get it. You think I have it, but I don't have it.
But guess what? If everybody thinks you have it, then the doctor also thinks you have it.
I don't care.
Well, guess what the doctor going to tell me?
People you dealing with. Now, doctors, they would know for sure.
No,
right?
no, you say everybody.
We gotta
everybody. Doctor got a body? Did that motherfucker walk in there on spirit?
So how do I know I don't have it then?
I don't know. That's between you and God. But I know because I'm going to send you right to him when I think you got it. You going to meet that.
No.
Everybody think you got it. And then I got to be embarrassed walking around here and they'll be like, damn, Fox got to know you clip. No, she don't. Now I got to be over here. Now I'm out here, goddamn. Now I look like Captain Saberho because my old lady out here pissing out razor blades to everybody's opinion, and I'm out here. No, she
I don't have it. I don't have it though.
Man.
And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I could probably still knock down more than a handful who even think I got it. All right, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, yeah, they can say whatever, but guess what? They still go.
I'm not even trying to be. Yo, you know how different. Yo, you know, like we might think that everybody's well educated, and we're not living in like that era of like HIV and Magic Johnson, where it's like, oh, HIV is a gay man's disease, like they saying about monkeypox, some other dumb shit. We always circling back to it. People just as ignorant. Don't nobody know what the hell going on. People don't look at science. I'm telling you right now, the handshakes would be different.
Yeah.
The hugs is different when everybody think you got the clap. Not you gonna be getting COVID bumps in 2030. Like,
not
what
even
up?
fist bumps.
No, stop.
Yeah,
I don't even want to get out of here.
Elbow.
Get out of here. You be out here with you got monkeypox on your box. Like, nah, bro. Nobody want that monkeypox fox box. I'm out, bro.
Yeah, they was saying, monkeypox is now it's STD. So research has proven that part.
Bro, who's fucking a monkey? I'm back to that Dave Chappelle shit when he was talking about something like when they talked about AIDS came from a monkey, and he was up to like, I don't believe AIDS came from a monkey because you saying that somebody got some monkey. The type of person that get monkey pussy on Monday don't go and get human pussy on Wednesday. Like, you know what I'm saying? He out the game, so. I don't know, man. And it's like, why they call it monkeypox anyway?
I don't even know.
It got to be some shit that derived from a monkey because it's like, what type of pox do monkey have?
That's like Zika virus. Zika virus is sexually transmitted too, and a lot of people didn't know that.
Nah, that's the first thing I knew when they said your baby head gonna come out looking like Beetlejuice. That's all I knew about that goddamn Zika virus was like your baby head gonna come out looking like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, pregnant women, but yeah, it is sexually transmitted, and people was like, oh well, it's just from the mosquitoes. It's the mosquitoes. No. It's the wee-wees. It's the wee-wees.
It's the dick. That ain't the only thing. If you get poked, you can get it.
Yes,
like, but I'm just getting poked by. That's just a bigger needle. Like, but I don't know. Like, yo, monkeypox look crazy. You seen the pictures?
No, I haven't seen the pictures.
But we look at some pictures of monkeypox.
So they said it's on the rise anyway. So
I mean, yeah, they said that shit was getting picked up in Georgia and stuff too. I'm like, man, must be crazy. It's wild.
Somewhere in Atlanta, with a CDC and all
that
shit.
The CDC there.
And let shit out. And
man, and people don't believe in space in Atlanta. We was just in Atlanta. People don't believe in space.
Drop it right in the metro area. Boop.
Yeah, you gotta throw it in. It's like when the zombie. Look at this shit.
Oh my god. Yuck.
So you want people thinking you got that?
They'll see I don't have it, but they'll think I got it. They saying that it is.
Man, whatever.
Research is showing in that direction.
I don't care. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. Fuck research. Fuck research. Let me tell you something. Ever since
that's like boils on your skin. That's like leprosy.
Ever since people start talking about
biblical leprosy.
that's that shit that they're talking about in the Bible. Yeah. Ooh. But ever since people start talking about they start talking that shit like, oh, do your research, and there's always some dude who like the only time people ever say do your research. They won't say like I respect when a person says do your research and it's like you say this and that and they come back with facts. You might not know they facts, but they come back with facts. Like you say A, I say B, and you like, well, I don't know. I ain't never heard about that, this and that. Don't trust me. Do your research, but I'm telling you that blah 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 blah. I can respect when somebody say do your research like that. But then when people say, well, do your research or statistics say this and that, just because it's like, yo, that shit ain't even real, bro. I was in this place, right? Like they'll be able to like, oh well, 19,000 black people got shot in Camden County. There's not 19,000 black people here. I happen to live here. And it's like, well, no, you need to do your research. No, I don't. No, I don't. I live here. No. You need to stop playing with me. Do your research and statistics. It's like, man, get the hell out my face, man.
For real. Hey, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. Thank you for sitting with us in Uncle Legend's Corner. We definitely appreciate the support you guys have been giving us. So we're getting Patreon together, guys, so we can get behind this wall. We can have y'all memberships and things like that. We have some things coming up for you guys, so stay tuned. If you have anything you want to add to the podcast, hit us up at axunclelegend@gmail.com.
Peace. I'm sleepy fox. I could turn this off. All right,
Hey,
all right,
hey,
all right, man. We ain't gonna have a whole lot for y'all for the overtime.
That's
you know,
right.
we getting overtime and we just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Y'all drop it in the chat, but I'm telling you, it's a delay on Instagram, so I understand. But for everybody else on the other platforms, you on YouTube, a few of y'all on Facebook, a bunch of y'all on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, y'all better say something because it's getting late. I got kids that just got jobs.
It's a new day. It's 12 o'clock.
I'm about to
I'm
leave.
going to bed. Bye, y'all.